Welcome to the news at 10. I am Abdulkarim Hafiz Olaitan, and this is the recent demolition exercise in Makoko, Lagos. The recent demolition exercise carried out in Makoko and other waterfront informal settlements in Lagos State have displaced thousands of residents and sparked widespread debate.
This is our chairman, CDA chairman.
This is the wife of CDA chairman. That's my house now that they are breaking it now. That's my husband last died 4 months ago. That is the house that they left for me. They come and break it. What do they want me to do? What company wants me to do? That is the only thing that my husband left for me.
The Lagos State government described the demolitions as part of urban renewal and environmental safety enforcement.
However, it's also important to note that the role of government isn't to create problems, but to find solutions. Talking about Makoko, I'd heard that some of the demolition had been attributed to waterfront infrastructure development, but not at all. I think it was carried out by urban development, I would say, urban regeneration and things. I'm not aware. However, I know that certain things were taken into consideration before moving in.
However, the affected residents and civil society organizations argue that the exercise amounts to forced eviction without adequate consultation, notice, compensation, or resettlement planning.
So if you think that whatever you are planning is going to stop this revolution that is going to happen very soon in this country, you are deceiving yourself. In Makoko. We have killed 35 in Oworosopi. We have killed 6 at Owote Onire. We have killed many more across the states.
This report examines the background, implementation, impact, reactions, and broader implications of the demolitions. Makoko is a historical waterfront community located along the Lagos Lagoon. Often described as a floating settlement, it consists of wooden houses built on stilts over water as well as structures on reclaimed land. The community has existed for decades and served as home to fishermen, artisans, traders, and low-income earners. Rapid urbanization in Lagos has increased pressure on land, leading to tension between informal settlements and government planning authorities. Reports indicate that bulldozers and security personnel move into sections of Makoko and surrounding waterfront communities, demolishing residential structures, markets, schools, and places of worship. Residents claims that the exercise was sudden, leaving little time to recover personal belongings.
Kò sọ fún wa ní pé òun fẹ́ wó ilé, kò fún wa ní ìwé, kò sọ ọjọ́ kankan fún wa, ó kàn dé ní ìjọ kan ní pé òun máa wó ilé, kò sọ kankan fún wa, ó kàn mú katapila, ó ń wó ilé yẹn ní káàkiri pẹ̀lú ìjà. Lánàá ọmọ kan wà ní ọkọ̀ lánàá, ó ń kó ṣubú sí omi, ó kú lánàá pẹ̀lú wàhálà lánàá. Lénìí ó ń kó jẹta, ó kó ọlọ́pàá wa, ó wá fi iná sí gbogbo ọkọ̀ wa, à ń sá kiri ní àbá omi.
Government officials stated that certain structures violated environmental regulations and safety setbacks, particularly near power lines and waterways. Human and social impact eyewitness footage shows families attempting to salvage furniture and household materials as homes were dismantled. Many residents reportedly lost their only source of shelter. Displacement has led to disruption of children's education, the separation of families, and increased vulnerability of women and the elderly. Some displaced individuals sought refuge with relatives, while others remain in temporary, precarious conditions. Informal traders operating kiosks and market stores lost merchandise and income. Fishermen dependent on lagoon access face difficulty continuing their trade. Without structured relocation or compensation, affected households may struggle to recover financially, deepening urban poverty challenges. Civil society organizations and housing rights advocates have condemned the demolitions, describing them as inconsistent with housing rights principles. Advocacy groups argue that international best practice require adequate notice, consultation, compensation, and resettlement planning before evictions occur. Displaced residents and supporters staged peaceful protests demanding transparency, justice, and housing protection. Protesters called for inclusive urban planning that does not marginalize low-income communities. The Lagos State government maintains that the demolition exercise is part of broader urban development and environmental protection strategies. Officials argue that the enforcing planning laws ensure public safety and long-term sustainability, though critics insist more humane approaches are necessary.
Then told, and this one I saw, and so when the Commissioner of Police uses language like riotous, disruptive, they were about to break into the State House of Assembly, without mincing words, he is not telling the truth. I was there and I challenged him himself, so he can say that I told him that to his face, that he's not telling the truth. What Taiwo has done, politely said very calmly, and said that, well, since we elected them and they don't want us to come inside, we're going to sit down. We're going to share water and share gala so people can be refreshed, and we'll see how it goes. It was literally shortly after that they started firing tear gas. Even people hadn't even gotten to the point of sitting down. I mean, some were already seated. But to respond to Taiwo's call, people hadn't even gotten to that point. Now, the Commissioner of Police also says that we're about to block the road. Again, he is not telling the truth. When I arrived at the protest ground yesterday afternoon, I joined it a bit late. As I came in through the ShopRite entrance, they had blocked the lane closest to the House of Assembly coming from ShopRite. So that lane had no cars, already was close to traffic. So for the Commissioner of Police to say that by sitting down on the road, they'll be stopping the flow of traffic again is not true. On that access, there were two lanes, so only one lane was open for traffic. So the lane where people were going to sit had already been blocked by the police from the ShopRite end. So to then make claim that it was the citizens that was going to block it was not true.
The Makoko demolitions are light tensions between urban renewal initiatives and informal settlement realities. As one of Africa's fastest growing cities, Lagos faces pressure to modernize infrastructure while accommodating rapid population growth. An expert suggests inclusive housing policies and participatory planning process are essential to prevent recurring displacement crises.
The Makoko incident has been happening for quite some time now, so the government clearly said that they had informed residents in that place not to build beyond a particular diameter so as not to stretch their lock beyond the barricade that they have apportioned to Makoko residents. But what they saw was that Makoko guys have already been building beyond the prescribed 30 meter away from the transformer. And so the excuses was that initially that they were going to demolish any houses that goes beyond their job description, to which the Makoko residents, of course, agreed to. But what happened next was that the government not only demolished the agreed homes or houses or shanties beyond the barricaded, that's 30 meters away from the transformer, but they went beyond that and went into the hinterlands and kept on demolishing some of these places, and that's what initially caused the uprising from the Makoko guys.
In conclusion, the demolition of structures in Makoko represents deeper structural challenges in housing, governance, and social equity in Lagos. While authorities defend the action as lawful enforcement, affected residents continue to seek compensation and meaningful dialogue. Sustainable solution will require balancing development objective with human dignity and social justice. I remain Abdulkarim Hafiz. Thank you.